Take a look at Boeing shares compared, because it's a Dow component. We're going to show you compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average as well as the S&P 500. It has outperformed both, up 38% in the last year. And there's no doubt that Kelly Ortberg has had progress in some key areas. One of them is not a sexy area. We're talking about a focus on quality and safety. Everybody has known this had to be job one at Boeing when he took over, especially with commercial airplane production. And as far as we can tell, based on the metrics and based on talking with airlines who have received aircraft, he and his team are succeeding, doing the basics, blocking and tackling, doing it better. He's also cut losses at the company. They've lowered their cash burn, probably going to be cash flow positive by the end of the year. At least that's Boeing's projection at this point. And most importantly, they have improved 737 MAX production. The first half of this year, the company delivered 280 aircraft. Compare that with last year and the year before. In the first half of this year, best first half they've had since the beginning of 2018. That was before the MAX crashes, and really the last 5-6 years that have just 6-7 years that have just been a brutal slog to get back to basic blocking, tackling, delivering aircraft that do not have problems. And so as you take a look at shares of Boeing going back to the beginning of 2019, I know a lot of people will sit there and say, well, the easy fruit was the low-hanging fruit early on. The thing was such a disaster that when Ortberg was brought in, of course it was going to move higher. I think that's shortchanging Kelly Ortberg and his team in terms of the improvements that they've made. By the way, they're still about, just under 50% from the all-time high, which we saw in March of 2019. This will be an interesting next year and a half for Boeing, because they've got a number of challenges. They've got to fix the space division. Starliner was a complete failure where they stranded astronauts up in space. Defense shows some signs of progress, but they're a long ways from its potential. And then as they move forward, building and delivering more commercial aircraft, at some point there will have to be a vision from Kelly Ortberg and his team, probably not within the next year and a half, but at some point there will have to be a vision for the next commercial airplane, which won't be delivered, won't be built until well past 2035, that type of a time range. But it is important to start that work now. That's what people will be focused on over the next couple of years.